statement coming in from the Raksha Mantri. The Defence Minister has reacted to what has happened in Jammu. There's a statement which Rajnath Singh ji has tweeted. I'm just going to read out. Rajnath Singh, Raksha Mantri ji, has spoken to Vice Air Chief Air Marshal H.S. Arora regarding today's incident at the Air Force Station in Jammu. Air Marshal Vikram Singh is reaching Jammu to take stock of the situation as well. So that's the first response that's coming in from the Ministry of Defence. Tejinder has gotten us. We've been speaking to Tejinder as well. Let's go to Shreya as well to put that into context. Shreya, the Raksha Mantri, on a day when he has just left for Ladakh, we got those visuals a few minutes ago, has spoken to the Vice Air Chief, and also Air Marshal Vikram Singh is reaching Jammu to take stock of the situation. Break this down for our viewers. What does this mean to in terms of how massively have we reacted to this statement, to this attack in Jammu?
Air Marshal Vikram Singh, first things first, is the SASO for the Western Air Command. And obviously, there has been a blast at a major strategic technical area, the Jammu technical area. The SOP is that the MOD will be briefed. The SOP is that whether it's the chief or the vice chief, they will brief the Raksha Mantri about what has happened. The Raksha Mantri, again, not in Delhi, on his way to Ladakh to review the operational preparedness at the LAC right now. But the real crisis is happening in Jammu, where there are questions, many questions that still remain unanswered as to how exactly a blast could happen inside a high security zone. So obviously, these are questions that the political leadership has as well. And senior leadership within the Indian Air Force has now been mobilized to go to the air station, to go to the technical area, the Jammu technical area, and try and see what exactly has happened. Because yes, there are senior officers of the Indian Air Force who are right now at the Jammu air station, but there has been a need felt within the air headquarters that you need to send in someone senior there as well, which is why this mobilization is happening. The fact is that there will be multiple civilian agencies which will be inside the technical area, and there is some degree of coordination that will be required, which will require a senior officer to be there to take calls, to answer questions, etc. Which is why we are seeing this mobilization. We also know that there is a extensive briefing that has already been given to the MOD, to the Raksha Mantri. As of now, there are investigators on the ground, and it is now for them to do their job, because once the answers that are being raised today are answered, will you be in a position to say whether more such attacks are coming? Again, as I said, there are things we need to know. A, the Indian Air Force has said we are not ruling out any angle. So we are in the middle of an investigation. We don't know if someone infiltrated the airbase. We don't know if it was a drone attack that happened, that a drone carried an IED and then triggered it off. If that is what has happened, is this sabotage, internal sabotage we are talking about? There is no clarity on any of these questions. But the fact is, investigations are currently underway. If this is a drone that has come from across the border, then of course, this is an air attack on India. There is no other way to look at it. This is an air attack on India. But again, I'm qualifying. That's only if this drone is found to have originated from across the border. It has happened before. We know that in the Rajouri area, we know that drones have been used to carry weapons. So was this a similar drone? Again, we don't know. For the moment, the context to it is this. The fact is that the ceasefire, the recommitment to the ceasefire has held pretty well at the LOC for the last 4 months. Would Pakistan do anything to jeopardize that at this point of time? Again, a question that will be answered sooner rather than later. But right now, all the focus on the various agencies currently at the Air Force technical area are trying to look for clues as to why exactly this blast happened and how exactly this blast happened. Now, one of the things that is being said is that a drone could have possibly infiltrated the technical area because it flies low and it can escape radar. But this is not just any village in Jammu. This is not just any village in Rajouri or in Punjab. This is an Air Force station. An Air Force station needs to be equipped to deal with any incoming threat. Is this now a threat that the Indian Air Force will have to be aware of and prepare its Air Force stations across the country for similar threats? Again, as I said, right at this point of time, no point speculating as to what happened. But the Arunima has been reporting, of what Tejinder has been reporting, of what my sources have been telling me. The most plausible scenario is that this was a drone that entered in the wee hours of the morning. There were security people there. It has triggered a blast. We have seen, the impact of the blast on the ground. Tejinder has got us those pictures. Some 2 kilometers away, there is a house that felt the intensity of these blasts. There has been no person who's been apprehended so far. At least that is what is being officially told to us. What is also now being told to us, confirmed to us, that yes, there have been 2 injuries, but there have been very minor band-aid type injuries.
All right.
So that in sum total is what we have right now. Apart from the fact that yes, there are no strategic assets that have been impacted.
All right, Shreya, stay on with us. Our Foreign Affairs editor Maha Siddiqui is also joining us, and let's take that point further which Shreya was pointing out. Maha, this, as we have been discussing, comes at a time when there has been a reasonably successful ceasefire with Pakistan along the western border that has been in place for the past few months. There was a time, this has come at a time when that ceasefire was actually up for a review as well. Is it not an uncanny pattern that every time India has really looked at a possible thaw with Pakistan along the border, we have been rewarded with a terror strike, assuming this is one, of course, in whether it be Pathankot, whether it be Uri, and now this?
Yes, Ritanshu, there has been a pattern, as you are rightly mentioning, that whenever there has been some overtures of possibility of peace between India and Pakistan, we have seen the terror outfits getting active and trying to play the spoiler in any situation. And these terror outfits, let's not delude ourselves, do find sanctuaries in Pakistan itself. So Pakistan needs to act against these terror sanctuaries. That has been the demand from not just India, but from the global community. And just 2 days ago, the FATF has continued to keep Pakistan in the grey list for the very same reason. Even though they fulfilled 26 out of the 27 agenda items promised in 2018, the most important factor that they have missed out, that has not been met, which was pronounced by the FATF, was that they have not been able to investigate or prosecute UN-proscribed terrorists like Hafiz Saeed and Masood Azhar. And who are Hafiz Saeed and Masood Azhar? These are terrorists whose outfits specifically target India. The Lashkar and the Jaish, they are targeting India, they have targeted India, and therefore it is necessary that action is taken by Pakistan against these terror outfits. So even as we are seeing the ceasefire along the LOC, which is a recommitment really of the 2003 understanding, that has been holding. And there were a lot of various theories, Ritanshu, that was a nudge from America. And we also heard the US State Department making a statement which gave us a sense that there was a nudge from the US side. There was some nudge from the Gulf countries who are friendly with both India and Pakistan. Under these circumstances, if we are seeing an attack of this nature that we have seen in Jammu, which is an audacious attack, even if Ritanshu, let's point out, even if 2 people have been injured over here, the casualties have not been great, thankfully. The fact that the attack could be carried out in a high security area is in itself an audacious attack, will be termed an audacious attack, no matter how it's done, whether it's done through a drone or otherwise. Also, the aspect of a drone. This has been pointed out for the last 2 years, that there have been drones that have been coming in from the Pakistani side. We have seen incidents of this nature being reported from Punjab. Punjab has been reporting this. There were some reports in the media, Ritanshu, that these were being used to send light arms towards India, which could be put on the drones and airdrop. They were also used to, in some cases, send drugs. So the use of a drone in this case, as Arunima and Tejinder are both pointing out, is being looked into. That is a possibility. That again will have a Pakistan link. And